morning, guys. We made it out to our claim, and this is where our trench got all filled in. The sun's finally starting to come up there. Beautiful. I've been working by moonlight for about the last hour, and we brought, well, it's too dark to see it, but we brought our side-by-side over there, and the mission today is to grab a whole bunch of pay out of that hole from the last video, where Bill and I, and also Amy and I, had left off dry washing across here, and I shoveled off a couple feet of sand, and we're trying to get into some pay here. And I'm got the 24K over there, and we're trying some pans here of out of that hole to see if I don't want to haul a bunch of useless material all the way to the truck. And then we're going to make 2 or 3 trips back here with several buckets, filling them, classifying them. And then tomorrow we're going to finish off the video with running all that pay through the Mini-Max at home with a 50-gallon tub, and we're going to recirculate it. The water's probably get really messy, so we're going to take and run a electric pump. I'm sorry, a gasoline pump. Trash pump. So hopefully we can get through all that pay. I'm still not seeing anything yet. Oh, there's one little piece in there. Tiny little thing. I don't even know if I'd consider that fly poop. It's probably more like ant poop. I just learned that from Top Cat mining. Alright, well, I'm going to try another area of the hole here and see if we can find some better pieces and start classifying that and getting it back to the truck.
Oh, thank you. Wet.
What time do we get you up today to do this?
Too early.
What is it, like 4?
You wish. It was like 3.
Oh. Oh. You know what it is? Every time we go to the claim, I'm well, not wide awake, but I'm up at 12:30. Wish we had a camper parked over there. I'd go take a nap. I don't know if I mentioned on this bench there's a huge crater. It's got grass growing in it and bushes. Looks like a really big prospect. Another one over here, it's bigger. I think I could do a pan of this stuff, take a couple buckets home of that. Somebody found something. Then what I also heard when Bill and I was here last, a caretaker from a nearby mine came down, was talking to us, and there's Gunshot Rock. This right here has a big mound of dirt. I guess a guy from Idaho years ago got a bobcat in here and just pushed all the material out of the wash up there. Didn't care about the pickers and the flakes, large flakes. Just wanted the bedrock to clean out cracks in the bedrock there. So maybe when that dries out, feed all that through a dry washer. Get all that gold that he pushed up in there possibly. But yeah, it's quite a bit of work to get back here and haul this heavy damp material. It's about a 2-mile trail drive with the side-by-side back to the truck, and then about a half mile of this rough wash to traverse back and forth. So we better get at it. All right, we made it back to the truck with our first load of pay. Beautiful desert morning. I'm at the middle of Arizona. We've got one camper over there with their car parked camping, and way back in the mountains there was a pickup truck parked, a Hunter. That's about it. Just beautiful. Wish we could have our camper back there and dry washing and just stay out here for day after day. You ready to get this done and go home?
It's warm at home.
Well, start digging, you'll get warm.
And then I'll sleep on a heating pad for 3 days.
The moon's still up there. That was getting off a lot of light this morning. We had a Christmas party at work yesterday, and Amy, we got a little bonus, and Amy got some Beats headphones, and I got a drone. I actually got a drone for Christmas from work, so
As soon as he learns how to use it, he will use it for the channel.
I'll try to get some footage, yeah, hovering around. Except for I turned it on 5 minutes yesterday and flew it right into the clothesline. First about foot and a half of overburden and tossed it over there. And about that level, we started finding gold with the dry washer. So I want to try a test right now. We got the 24K and the Gold Bug 2. I'm going to run over it with the Gold Bug 2, try to get any signals. And let's see here. This is back. I can't see. Little tiny things. I mean, I think that's a hot rock sound. I'm not. Get that out and see what it is. So there's a real faint signal I got over here. Let's hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's turn on the machine and see if it's gonna. I've got this. I've got them both on about full sensitivity, and then backed off 1 notch. So on this, it's about a 9. On that, that's equivalent. Got that one, but let's get this. Oh yeah. I'm gonna see if I can stump this one. I'd like to find something really small. Let's get this target and see what this could be. Right in there. That's where I was digging, but it's down in there deep. Oh, I think we got something. Yep. See a little piece of tin. Yes. So, praise for both machines, because when we started, that was down in there. That little tiny piece of tin was down in there at least a few inches, and they're both really responsive targets. Alright, we'll get back at it. Try to drop it. What the heck is that? Piece of foil or something. That little piece of foil. Darn. That looks like what Nugget Shooter talks about. Chewed up can. That's a can that's been chewed up. Like cows chew them up and then spit them out. That they can spit them out either end. All right. Okay, we're getting loaded up to go. I've got load of pay number 2. I've got one more bucket I've got to haul over and put in there. So this is what we opened up today. We won't know till we get home and run this through the Mini-Max. We're going to put that on video next and do a clean out. Really hoping for some good gold. I mean, we're following the same streak right up in here past where we stopped off there. And hauled quite a bit of material out of here. It's the equivalent of about 8-10 buckets of material we've hauled out of here, classified. A couple of them I didn't if it was really muddy, especially down by the bedrock, but went over this carefully with the detector. No more signals. Like I said, there wasn't... We found little flakes here and there panning, but... Just gonna leave that one there, huh? I saw you try to pick it up. Alright. Okay, guys, we'll see you at home. Alright, so we're back home with all the pay. And I know the water's going to get really dirty. So we've got the Mini-Max here hooked up to a little trash pump. And it's really easy to do with this one little fitting right there from a hardware store. The flow looks pretty good. I just think that with the water getting really dirty that electric motor would have no chance. So here's all the pay. This is 2 loads from the side-by-side loads from way out of the claim. I think I'm going to dump the buckets into here. If I did this all day, I'd probably be so sprained. So I'm going to dump the buckets in this big tote. Get little shovel scoops out of here. It's working pretty good, so I'm gonna get some of this run, and it was a lot of work. I hope we got some gold in this stuff, guys. So I ran about I know it was a bucket and a half of material because I dumped that full once from the tailings from the very end of the sluice there, and then there it is half full again, and it took forever. My neighbors would have to hear that pump probably 4 or 5 hours to get through that material. And so what I did, I went ahead and panned out. I broke down the Mini-Max here, a bucket and a half of that pay we hauled home. Hey, Enthor. So a bucket and a half from a Mini Max. I already found a little nugget there. And some nice little chunky pieces. That's a coarse little piece there. Alright. I'll put this up, and what we're going to do real quick is go over it with the gold bug too and see if we can pull it. Here's all the material. And if I can get this dried out, I hope so, sometime tomorrow. Today's Saturday. Hopefully we can get it done tomorrow before we go back to work, because Amy wouldn't be able to get her car out. Good morning, guys. It is Sunday morning, and we got some well-needed rest. I think we slept a little over 10 hours. It's been about a week and a half since I got that kind of rest. It was great, but unfortunately I came out and there was some moisture in the air, so this stuff is just, hey! Okay, we've about got this first tarp all cleared off. That was about 4 full buckets of the pay there. We got that one left to do, so we went ahead and did a clean out, or about to. I had to angle the hopper back even more steep because it was just feeding too slow, and it also increases the water pressure to clear out the matting better. And if you're new to that machine, I would recommend it. They have a lot of the little recirculating systems that almost go up to the price of this. Those things can be $450. This thing's like $500, and it comes with a really good sized pump that it seems to be able to fight the organics and things, unlike those little recirculating systems, the Gold Busters and things like that. Their weak little pumps get clogged easy. And if you don't know, it's got the clean out matting, so you've also got a cleanup sluice, a high banker, and it comes with a flare that you can put and have a sluice box. And then not only that, but you've got a sluice box with legs. It's fast and easy to set up, so that's my recommendation. It's got to be the most bang for the buck. So high banker, clean out, a sluice box, so it's several pieces of equipment in one. Alright. Oh, before I pan this out, I noticed I was hoping there'd be a big nugget sitting back in here, but I did spot that guy. Nice little picker in there. Let's get this one panned out. Okay, we just cleaned out the Mini Max. And that matting, there was only 2 tiny flakes. Seems like 99.99% of the gold is in this under that expanded metal, or back in this corner. And here's how much, after several buckets, that's how much concentrates we're left with. That's not too bad. Let's get this pan down. Okay, we've got this pan down to about half a cup of material, or maybe 1/4 cup. Oh, we're starting to get some lead. A lot of lead. Okay, we've got a picker there. That might be the one we saw in that back matting. Okay, clean out number 2. It's got some fine flakes down in through here and some more chunks. All right. Whew. Well, I've got to take a couple loads of firewood in the house, and then we'll get the rest of this run. Whew. Okay, we got the firewood in for Amy. Now, And we're finally down to the last scoop. Remember all those buckets? That was a little plastic scoop at a time, but we did it. Alright, let's shut this off and see what we got. So I'm seeing flashes of yellow all through about the third bottom riffle. And if you think about it, the material actually dives down to here, but also in the very back, there's a small nugget. And another little piece to the right of him. Alright, let's pan this out. Okay, here's the final tally of all that work. And there is a bunch of small little flakes that I put in a cons bucket to process later, but let's see the gold. None of those larger nuggets at like up to half gram, 0.3 or anything, doesn't seem to be getting any better as we're going upstream. That's still some really nice gold. Whew. And then I wanted to mention that I found this little tin star. I didn't know what the heck that was, but one of our good watchers named Alan Randall said that that was on a old tobacco pouch the miners would have had. That's pretty neat. It's kind of a string that hung down from a little tin star. So I'm glad I saved that. And then these little tacks we keep finding, I keep thinking are boot tacks. James Christensen says that, commented that a lot of those come out of the old timers dry washers. The old bellows dry washers. So
Shake loose.
Pretty neat stuff. Remember, guys, when you go out in the wilderness, be careful. There's all kinds of critters and all kinds of things that can, and never know what could be out there. So just always be aware of your surroundings. Awesome, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for watching. You might want to check out next week. 2 weeks from now, on the 28th, Saturday, if you watch a gentleman named Chuck Gentles. We're going to get together with him and go test a claim for Roadrunner Prospector Club if they're thinking about picking up to buy for the club. So we're going to be out there testing this claim. Alright, so I guess there's nothing else to do except enjoy the rest of my Sunday.
No. You've still got all that stuff out there you got to clean up and bring us in a load of wood.
We're not listening to him.
Please.
Split a load of wood too?
Yes. Because you're awesome.
I'll be back.